What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Golden Strike Podcast. My name's Chris, and I'm just coming back from church about an hour ago, and I just got encouraged. I got convicted to do this, and we're gonna do it while it's still hot in my spirit. I was encouraged not just by it wasn't really the sermon so much, but it was just the pastor and the church itself. It was my second time at this church, right? And at the end of it, he called some people to the altar to accept Christ. For anyone that hasn't accepted Christ who was there, he called them to the altar to accept them or to accept him as their Lord and Savior. And it was just a beautiful sight to see, right? And I think about the heavens, the angels rejoice and praise in heaven for one sinner who repents. And like I said, I just was smiling because there are still new believers every day. There are new convertees, whatever you want to call them, every single day. There are people who accept Christ every single day, and there's still some people who don't even know his name out there. And I would be so discouraged by coming on here. Like, y'all don't know how many episodes I've written up, taken notes. Sometimes I've even recorded, and I'll edit it up all up, and then I'll look at it and be like, what's the point? What's the point of me uploading this? It's so like everybody knows this already, but not everybody does, and there's still new believers. And it was like when I saw that, I just thought about heaven rejoicing. But then I also thought about the demons in hell gnashing their teeth because they lost the grip on a soul that they thought they had. I'm gonna turn this off because it just ruined the life. That was my screen. And so I kind of want to talk to the new believers, to anyone who is out there who has recently accepted Christ, or maybe you're on the fence, right? I want to start off by saying the Christian walk is not an easy walk. It's not just sunshines and rainbows. It's a walk that's worth it for sure, absolutely. And we find peace even in the midst of struggles and battles. We have peace because we have Christ, but it doesn't mean that the surrounding our environment, it's not always peachy, and joyful. We find out it's like when you accept Christ as your Lord, as your Savior, you will be persecuted, not just by the enemy, by the world. You may lose some friends. Your family may turn on you. John 15:18 says that if the world hates you, just know that it hated me first. This was Jesus, a perfect man who they persecuted and killed. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's just the level that when you become a Christian, when you become a follower of Christ, you're persecuted. Revelations 12:17, when Satan was pursuing the woman, pursuing Jesus, trying to slaughter him before he could even get it started, he couldn't. And he vowed, you know what? Let me pull up the verse so I don't butcher it. But let's just go down here to Revelations. And Jesus and the enemy said, so the dragon was furious with the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring. Who's her offspring? Those who keep the commands of God and hold firmly to the testimony about Jesus. That is the enemy declaring war on us as Christians. And so when you accept him, you put a target on your back, and you know what? That's a good thing. It's an honor because I know who's got my back, you know. And so again, Matthew 10:34, he says he did not come to earth to bring peace, but he came with a sword to divide families, to separate mothers and sons and daughters and sisters, because the truth divides. When you accept him, you are persecuted. And I don't say that to be a message of fear, right? But it's an encouragement that when you accept him, you're baptized in the spirit. John the Baptist said, Matthew 3:11, I baptize you in water, but he who's coming after me, Jesus, the one whose sandals I'm not even worthy of wearing or being near, he will baptize you in the spirit and fire. And we could talk about the fire later, but the spirit, the same spirit that rose him from the grave, is in you when you accept him as Lord and Savior. And that's powerful. That is the spirit of God inside of us. That's huge, right? And when you confess with your mouth, when you're with your tongue, and you believe in your heart, that's when you're baptized in the spirit. And you could say it, but it's both your tongue when it's a declaration, but in your heart as well. You can't lie to God. He sees your heart, he sees your soul, and he's gonna baptize you in the spirit, and that's gonna change everything. And then you could get baptized in water, make the declaration of faith to the public. And again, I lost my train of thought. My fault. That happens a lot. But again, this isn't a message of fear because accepting Christ means becoming an enemy of Satan. And that's not to scare you, that's not to discourage you or nothing like that. On the contrary, it's actually to encourage you. Matthew 5:10 says, blessed are those persecuted for righteousness, for they will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Being persecuted is almost something to celebrate, because I know who fights my battles and I'm protected. And it's not me who fights them. It's a guy named Jesus. And Romans 8:31, it says, if he stands with us, who can stand against us? Not the enemy, not the world, not this guy or that guy. If Jesus is on our side, that's it. We're on the winning side. And and so taking that first step, accepting Christ as Lord and Savior, being baptized in the Spirit, that's a huge, huge step. And that's a milestone. God celebrates milestones. And that's actually something that they preach today in Genesis. Uh, but just be ready to take that next step and then take the next step and the next one because it's not just, okay, I accept you by the bing, by the boom. It's not a one-time thing. No, it's a daily choice. Matthew 16:24 says, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me, Jesus. And so what does that mean? The cross, the Roman cross that Jesus was carrying to the mountain of Golgotha, however you say it, I think that's how you say it. Um, Scholars believe it was roughly 300 pounds. 300 pounds. Now, listen, I know some of y'all be in the gym and that's nothing for you. You could, bench presses, squat, whatever. It's still heavy. 300 pounds is a lot of weight, especially when your flesh is beaten. He was a dead man walking. He was whipped. What was it? 30 times, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I forgot. But it wasn't an easy path. It was 600 meters, which is roughly 1/3 of a mile. And again, you could jog that in less than 5, 10 minutes, bro. But it's like for sure, but it's like when you're on the brink, when you're denying, when you're killing that flesh, when you're weak, when you're beat and you're carrying that cross and you keep going, he says, follow me. It's not an easy path. So once you take that first step, amazing, great, celebrate, the heavens rejoice, but it does not stop there. It does not stop there. And James talks about hearing and doing the word. He says even the demons believe, but they don't obey, right? So you have chosen the freedom that God has given us through grace. Now walk in it. Don't just accept it, but walk in it. And understand this that we're not saved by our works. We are saved by our faith alone. Jesus on the cross said, it is finished. He didn't say it is finished after you get baptized. He didn't say it is finished after you stop sinning. He didn't say it is finished once you do this or X or Y. He said it is finished here on the cross. And so it's not about that, but it says you will know them. You will know people by their fruits. It says faith without works is dead faith. He says in John 14:15, if you love me, you will follow my commands. If you have accepted Christ as Lord, keep going. Keep going. Don't be afraid. Don't get discouraged. Because I'm going to tell you, the enemy sees you. and he's coming after you. And I don't mean to scare anybody because you are on the winning side, bro. You have chosen God, you have chosen Jesus over the world, over your sin, over your worldly, earthly desires. You have decided to put your flesh to death, and he's gonna take care of you. He's gonna carry you because that heavy cross that he's calling us Christ, he's gonna help us carry it. He will. And so you have a purpose. We all have a purpose that God has given us, and we all have a will for our life. And so just keep your eyes on him, and he will reveal that to you, and he will turn your desires for his will. And it's just this is just the beginning of something great if you have recently decided to follow Jesus. Um, and if you haven't, if you're on the fence, if you feel like you're too far gone, if you feel like you're dirty or you're hopeless, if you just feel like maybe God doesn't want me, whatever it may be, he leaves the 99 for the one lost sheep. And that one lost sheep, again, Luke 15:7, heaven rejoices for that one sinner who repents. And so let me tell you a little secret. We're all dirty. We're all wretched. We are all sinners. Paul says in Romans, this is the great apostle Paul. He says, the good that I want to do, I don't. And the evil that I don't want to do, I do. Oh, what a wretched man I am, who will save me from this body of death. Glory be to God. So, like, we are all sinners, man. And if that's the reason why you're not giving your life to Christ, so that's I mean, that's just a lie from the enemy, man. And it's he will make you into a new creation, and he will change you. The things that are convicting you right now that you just can't seem to shake, he will shake them off you. Just keep your eyes on Jesus, and welcome. Welcome to the winning side, man. To anyone who has accepted him, this is the winning side. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. The demons know that their time is running out. They know who Jesus is. They know who Lord is. And so I never really know how to end these videos. But next video, man, that's deep. It's like I can't just, you know, that's a lot. And I just pray that this message, anyone who needs this receives this message. But next video, I definitely want to talk about being dead in the spirit. You could be dead in the flesh, but I want to talk about being dead in the spirit. Um, about what that means. I had a conversation with someone recently on Facebook, and he asked me, it was like, is it selfish for me to want to die because I'm tired of the things of this world? And he even used Paul in his example. He was like, in Philippians, Paul says he wishes to die, that it would be far better to be with Christ than to be in the flesh and in the world. But he goes on to say that it is better for your will to be in the flesh. And I think about what Jesus said to Peter on the night on the Last Supper, where he says, I'm going to be killed. And Peter's like, no, I will never let that happen. I'll never let the guards even put a hair on you. And what does Jesus say? He says, get behind me, Satan. This is his disciple. This is Peter, the guy who he's been with for, you know, he says, get behind me, Satan. Because Peter put his own will above God's will. And so I think about that so often, where we as Christians accept the grace that he has given us, and then we kind of waste our purpose, the will that he has for our life. We just, and it's like I feel like that is what it means to be dead in the spirit, because we are saved not by our works, by our faith and by grace. But if we are not doing the will of God here on earth, He calls us to spread the gospel to the ends of the earth. He calls us to be a light in the world. He calls us to reflect his love, to love our neighbors as ourselves. And I feel like if you're just, what's the point? You know, it would be selfish to just want to die, to just want to skip all this and just go to heaven. It's like, yeah, it's great, but we have so much to do here on earth still for his will. And that's what I want to talk about next time. And it's kind of a doozy. I have a lot of things in my head, but I don't have them written down. But for anyone that this has came to, just hey man, and just see y'all next time.